What is, you mentioned, obviously for people who don't follow you, you a lot of people who don't know you actually, how I heard of you was because of the George Lopez thing. Like essentially George Lopez, I would say was less, he was, a lot of people say hating, being an old head, if you will. Have you found yourself in the position where because you're kind of the face, like the face of like Latin comedy right now. Like you're the most popping, up and coming Latin comedian, at least in my opinion. Obviously everybody's subjective to who that may or may not be, but at least to me, it seems like you're that guy. Is that something you think about? Like, okay, if I'm the face of this new generation, do I have to be careful about not being the way George Lopez was to me to like maybe whoever's coming up?
I mean, yeah. I don't think I'm like a very social person. I think I lean more towards like an introverted side.
For sure.
So sometimes when I'm in a city like LA, New York, or somewhere where I go visit like the Comedy Store, this club, that club, maybe I don't do such a good job of talking to all the comics, saying what's up to all the comics, but I do try to like push myself to like, yo. But one thing that I would say I do good at and comes kind of natural is like, if I see a comic who I think is genuinely funny, whether they be Latino, black, white, whatever, yeah, and I think they're hustling and maybe they're not like a full-time comic yet, or they're up and coming with her, and I can offer some sort of help, like I definitely will. Maybe I can't always help as often as some comics would like me to help.
Right.
But if I can lend a hand to somebody who I think is funny, or like, is working at it, like I'd love to do that. And even for the people that are like in my class or whatever you want to call it, my rank or whatever, I'm very competitive, but I see it like in a friendly way. Like when my friends who are at around my level are getting great opportunities or just killing it on stage, like I want to do what they're doing or top it, but only with the hopes that they're also going to top me again. You know what I mean? Because I still want to see them win. Like but they're also seeing them win is pushing me to like, well, let me keep up. You know what I mean?
Right. So it's almost like when you play somebody, first of all, hip hop is a perfect example again, perfect correlation. It's like you might do a song with your friend, but if you do a song with your friend, like you want to do better than them on the song. You want to have a harder verse.
Yeah, you don't want them to just straight up kill you, you know? And even if they do,
but then if they go platinum, you're like, I'm happy for you. You know, like
even if you did kill me on that one, like I'm still happy for you. But on the next one, I'm gonna try to kill.
Yeah.
But I would never want to not do a song with you, or I would never wanna in any way want you to fail or put you down. Like if I have the chance to alter your career, I would only do it to alter it for the better. Right. I would never try to sabotage or talk down on any of the other comedians out here who are really doing some work,
grinding, for sure. For you, like is obviously stand up is, keep leveling up, doing bigger venues, doing more tickets. You talked about the podcast. I think that like back in the day, the next like thing would be, let me be on TV, let me do a movie, let me write a TV series. Obviously, that's kind of not necessarily been the barometer of what makes someone successful in comedy anymore. But do you have any other goals outside of, what you're doing or the podcast launching?
Man, I would like to write like a show or a movie. I don't think that type of writing is my strong suit.
Right.
But for the last like year and a half, I've been trying to just try it, like ideas when I have time. I'm like, let me just,
like if you have a premise for a TV show, okay, if I got the premise, now what? Like how do I write a pilot?
Yeah. So yeah, but I love stand up so much. I'm like obsessed with it. Like this is what I eat, sleep, shit, breathe. Like so I'm never in my head with too many goals. Before I was, but they were just stand-up goals. Before it was like, all right, I want to get on the Tonight Show. I want to get on Comedy Central.
Right.
I want to do this festival. It was all like stand-up related goals.
Right.
And my only plan of attack was like, well, hone my stand-up, be on stage, write more jokes, be on stage, like just write and be on stage, like. And I think now that I've knocked out a lot of the bigger goals, like do Moon Tower, I did the Tonight Show,
Right.
I got a special. Now my goals are just keep doing stand up, like just keep doing stand up, man. I like hearing the stories about how like back in the day the ancient samurai used to make their swords. How it'd be like fucking hard as hell, and they're just pounding the steel and all that. And I feel like that's all stand up is. Every joke is like another sword. Like you just work out that joke. And so I feel like that's always gonna be my number one and main goal. It's just
be one of the GOATs.
Yeah, I mean, if it happens, it happens. But no matter what, man, I'm always. It's like basketball. Whether I make it to NBA or not, like I'm always enjoying a ball in the hoop.